If you want to open a pizza shop in 2025, this is the video that you need to bookmark because it's not just about making great pizza, although that is the start. You do need to make a great pizza, but you also are running a business. And there are a lot of hidden costs that people do not think about when they are opening a pizzeria. And these aren't just the initial cost of opening the shop. It's about the ongoing operations of the business. When you open a pizza shop, you are opening a business, obviously. But you have to understand how that business works if you want to make it for the long haul. Because you could have the best pizza in town, you could be really busy, but if you're not profitable and you're not aware of the hidden costs of operating a pizzeria, they're going to creep up on you quickly. And before you know it, you're going to be out of cash and you're going to need to close your store. So I'm going to go over some of those in detail today so that you don't run into these same mistakes that I made when I opened my second location. And listen, we've made a lot of videos on this channel that you can go check out about making the best pizza or interviewing entrepreneurs who are doing great pizza businesses currently. Go watch those videos. They'll be linked in the description below, or you can just go search our channel and find those. But these are some hidden costs that go along with operating a pizzeria that a lot of people do not think about. The first one being staff turnover. I've said it in recent videos that the biggest mistake I made when I was operating my pizzeria is when I found people who were doing a great job in the business, I didn't do everything I could possibly do to keep them happy and keep them working at my pizzeria instead of going to look for another job. I recently put something on our Facebook page that you need to say thank you to your employees. When you hand them the check, it's not them saying thank you to you. It's you saying thank you to them, because good employees and good team members have options, and a lot of options. There are a lot of places out there that are looking for great people to help run their pizzeria. And if you are not keeping your team members happy and well paid, then they are going to go find another job. And that cost of turnover, the process of running ads to get people to fill out applications, your time of interviewing people, the training of the new people who come in, all of that cost, the time, the money you spend creeps up on you. And it's a lot more expensive to hire new people and train them up than it is to pay someone who's doing a good job for you now more money to keep them happy and interested in working for you than it is anything else. So the number one thing I can say is watch that staff turnover. You may think it's not costing you a lot, but if you add up all of the expenses and time you spend over the course of the year, at the end of the year, you're going to see it's way more expensive than you think it is. The next thing that happens during the course of running the business that a lot of people don't think about is the equipment maintenance. Your dough oven, the mixer, the refrigerators, the walk-in, all of that takes time and energy to keep up, maintain, and eventually repair and replace. And a lot of people don't take that into consideration. They just think, oh, I have all new equipment, or I bought a dough oven, I bought a dough mixer, I bought a walk-in, it's just going to work. They don't take into consideration that, you know what, when it's 95 degrees outside and the humidity is going and your freezer or your walk-in or your cooler is running full pace all day long, it's eventually going to have something go wrong with it. And those equipment replacements are not cheap, nor are the people who come to fix those. When you are operating a pizzeria, you are probably going to have to learn how to do some of those minor maintenance repairs yourself just to save money. And if you don't have a budget set aside for the amount of money it takes to replace or repair your equipment, you're going to be in for a rude awakening, and you may not even have enough money to keep your business going by one thing breaking down. And we're in the business of creating great pizza. We need coolers. We need a mixer. We need an oven. We need those things to operate our business. And if they're not working properly, you can't run your business properly, and your business comes to a screeching halt. The next thing is, and I've talked about this in a previous video about if I open my pizzeria today, I may not do delivery. And a lot of people were commenting that, oh, you have to do delivery, or I wouldn't answer the phone. And people are like, I would never order a pizza from a place that didn't answer the phone. Well, great. Don't order my pizza then. That's fine. There are a lot of pizza places out there that I've interviewed that don't have phones and everything is done online, as well as places who don't do delivery, because delivery comes with challenges. You can either use your own in-house delivery drivers, which is what we did, and it became a whole separate business. When you are operating a pizzeria, you have a couple different aspects of the pizzeria. You have the walk-in, the dine-in, and then you have the delivery area. We had to have a separate management team just working on the delivery aspect of it, because there's scheduling that goes along with it. There's routing the deliveries. There's keeping them organized. There's delivery bags. There's the point of sale system that helps you route the deliveries themselves that you have to maintain and operate. There's a lot of costs that go into delivering your own pizza with your own staff that people don't think about. And the alternative to that is having these third-party apps, Uber Eats, DoorDash, Uber, whatever it is, deliver your orders and paying that extra fee and then passing that extra fee on to the consumer, which is what a lot of places do now. And that may work. But I'm telling you right now, the consumers are getting a little bit tired of paying extra money for those third-party deliveries. And there's a lot of costs that go on to having your own drivers. So you have to weigh the pros and cons. The pros of having your own delivery drivers are they work for you. They're in your control. They work inside of your building. You can train them what to say, how to deliver that pizza, how to talk to the customer, the whole process. The cons are it's expensive to have people who are delivering pizza, and that is their job when there is not a lot of deliveries to be had. They also have to think about the insurance cost that goes along with operating your own fleet of drivers. And that's something that can be very expensive depending on where you're located. Vehicle maintenance, gas, insurance, all of that you have to take into consideration when deciding on if you want to do delivery or not. And it can cost you a lot of money. People just think you can open a pizza shop and be like, yeah, it costs $2 to make a pizza. And I'm going to charge $15 and I'm going to make $13 in profit. That's not how it goes. If you really do the math, a lot of the times when you're doing the math, you're not taking into consideration all of these extra costs like insurance or delivery bags or a point of sale system that's going to help you route it or a manager of those delivery drivers. That's something that you do have to take into consideration, and a lot of people forget. All right, let's talk about the next thing, ingredient costs. When you are pricing out your menu for a delivery or a pizza shop, you have to take into consideration the fluctuation of the costs of ingredients. The price of cheese, flour, and toppings fluctuate constantly. Sometimes they're maintain a steady pace, and sometimes something happens, a drought. They aren't able to milk the cows like they were supposed to, and the price of cheese skyrockets. And you have to be able to suck up that price change because you can't. I mean, listen, you kind of can change your menu on the fly, but a lot of places don't like to drastically change their menu prices that many times throughout the course of a year. So sometimes you're going to have a profit margin of, say, let's say 20%, and then all of a sudden the price of cheese is going to skyrocket because something happened, and that 20% goes down to 7%. When you are planning on running your business at a 20% profit margin, that's going to change the way you do business. And a lot of times people don't think of that. They see the price of cheese, or they see how much a bag of flour costs, or how much a box of chicken wings costs at the time, and they market their business based on those prices, which you should do. But you should also take into consideration the fact that those are commodities, and commodities change prices over time. The amount of times that you have a box of chicken wings that could cost you $75 today, and next week it could jump to $225 is unbelievable. I've been in the business for a long time, and I've seen that fluctuation happen time and time again. We've even had times where we were selling salads, and all of a sudden the box of lettuce that we got went from $45 to $127, and you're like, wow, that's crazy. All of the profit for our salads just went away in a second because the price of lettuce, just something happened and the price of lettuce skyrocketed, and we were not prepared for that. But if you're watching this video, that is something that you do want to prepare for. Prepare for the price of the ingredients you're using to drastically change on a moment's notice. But if you can bump that into your pricing structure of your business, then you should be okay. But that's something that you should look for, because a lot of people don't, and they overlook that. So those are the 4 things that I think you should look at that a lot of people don't talk about when it comes to operating or opening up a new business. And if you can account for those things and write a detailed budget, taking into consideration the fact that products are going to fluctuate, the equipment is going to fail, the delivery structure is going to change, and you're going to have to maintain your own drivers or use a third-party app, and realize that it's a lot more cost-effective to keep the employees you have versus constantly training and finding and locating new ones, you should be okay. Now, running a pizza shop sounds fun, and it is fun. When you have it dialed in and your staff is really dialed in, you are dialed in, the business is going, your marketing is on point, you're always busy, and you have a really detailed plan and a budget, running a pizzeria can be really fun. You can make a lot of money doing it. But you can also lose a lot of money really quickly if you're not keeping track of your expenses, you're not having a good accountant or a bookkeeper. And by having a good accountant or bookkeeper, I mean you need to do that on a weekly basis. You can't do it quarterly. Quarterly is way too much of a time span to look at your business. You need to be looking at your business on a weekly basis and making sure that you are pricing your products appropriately, you are staffing your team appropriately, you're budgeting for your expenses, and you're maintaining your equipment. You need to do that weekly. And if you can do that weekly, you will be fine. But that's, again, back to the point of people who open pizzerias and they think they just need to make good pizza. That is the first thing you need to do, but it's the least amount of work you're going to do once you open a business. Making good pizza is the start, but running a good pizza business is something totally different. All right, let me know if you enjoyed this video, if it was helpful. Leave a comment below. Is there any questions I can help you answer in the future? I know in the videos on the past, people have said some suggestions for future videos, and I'll make those. Let me know what your questions are when it comes to operating or opening a pizzeria, and I will make a video on it, or I will get somebody to come on the podcast or go into somebody's pizza shop and show you an example. Let me know in the comments below. Hit that like, hit subscribe. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you right back here next week.